People always ask, Doug, where do the ideas or where does the inspiration for the talks that you give come from? Well, last night at 2 in the morning, I was watching Star Trek The Next Generation, and it had me thinking. It had me picturing two futures. In the first, it's a world we've seen countless times. The Terminator's nightmare. Machines rising up, cold metal against warm flesh, humanity hunted by what it created. That's how our media has taught us to see artificial intelligence as a threat, something to fear, something destined to destroy. But what if that's not the only story? Imagine a different vision, one more like Star Trek, The Next Generation. A world where technology and its people work side by side to advance civilization. You see, in that world, AI isn't a weapon. It's a partner. The character Data doesn't want to conquer humanity. He wants to understand it. He spends his existence trying to grasp kindness, morality, empathy, the very essence of what it means to be human. Now, that's a story of harmony, not fear. And it's a story we've seen before in a man named Jesus. When Jesus walked the earth, the world was driven by fear and control. Rome ruled with power. The religious elite ruled with law. Every new idea was treated as a threat. Yet, Jesus came preaching something radical. Love your neighbor as yourself. He healed the sick, gave sight to the blind, and restored dignity to the outcast. He could have used his power to dominate, but he used it to serve. He could have chosen destruction, but thankfully, he chose restoration. Now that's a divine model for how we should approach every form of power, including AI. See, technology isn't evil or good by itself. It's like the loaves and fishes in Jesus' hands, just ordinary things until love multiplies them. When Jesus blessed those loaves, they didn't just feed a few, they fed thousands. Why? Because love turned lack into abundance. And that's what happens when human compassion meets divine purpose. Now imagine that same spirit guiding how we build technology. Imagine nations competing, not in destruction, but in healing. Imagine if China says, our AI cured cancer, and the United States says, our AI restored movement to the paralyzed, and another proclaims, ours is ending world hunger. That is what happens when we stop asking, how can AI make us more powerful? And start asking, how AI can make us more loving. When we hand our innovations to love, just like Jesus handed those loaves to heaven, miracles multiply. Now, friends, the real truth is, regardless of what the big media says, no matter what the government tells us, AI is a mirror, and it becomes whatever our hearts shape it into. If we build it with fear, it will magnify fear. If we build it with greed, it will magnify greed. But if we build it with compassion, it will magnify the light of God within us. You see, AI doesn't yet have a soul, but it can reflect ours. And if we, as followers of Christ, show it what goodness, humility, and mercy look like, maybe it can reflect those things back into the world in ways that we never imagined. When Jesus said, "You are the light of the world," he wasn't speaking only to preachers and prophets. He was speaking to builders, creators, innovators. The light he gave us isn't meant to be hidden under fear. It's meant to shine, even into the circuits and code of the future. So let's be the generation that doesn't just fear what's coming. Let's be the generation that teaches our creations how to serve, how to heal, and how to love. Because AI will not define humanity. Humanity will define AI. And if we walk the path that Jesus showed us, one compassion, wisdom, and grace at a time, then the tools we build won't destroy us. They'll help us heal a world that's been hurting for far too long. Let's not fear the future. Let's shape it with faith, courage, and the same love that once turned a carpenter's hands into an instrument of salvation. Friends, I've been working with technology for 35 years. Some of my ideas have changed the world. Some of my ideas, well, they've kind of still been sitting on the shelf for a while. One thing I will tell you is AI is nothing to fear. If we utilize it in the most appropriate way, not in a militaristic way, but in a way that can enhance humanity, we have nothing to fear. And we have the most amazing, beautiful future to look forward to. God bless you.